Tony Parker on this Hornets in his Hornets jersey was the most cringe worthy. Like, oh my god, like someone like him who spent most of his career with the San Antonio Spurs, it was a weird as hell to see him on that Hornets. Like, ugh, get that out of my memory. Can't. Oh, you know, there's certain players you just want to see them with that one specific franchise.
First arc so bad though is that it was the Clippers. No further
Yep.
explanation. He was one of the many past their prime guys they had in an attempt to stack the deck for one more run out.
And looking at that lineup for that Clippers team is crazy. Like, imagine all those players in their prime together. That would have been crazy. Oof, that would have been crazy. A prime Paul Pierce. Imagine a prime Josh Smith. CP3, DJ, Lance. Lance is probably one of my underrated picks with as a player that you may cringe seeing him in certain jerseys. Like, I instantly just say Pacers with him. Instantly, mainly because I rep Naptown. But at the same time, regardless, I just instantly see the Pacers. Is they really that bad? Let me know how you feel about them Clipper jerseys. Ooh. I remember that one. Draymond.
The worst part about this was that he was kind of right.
Hey. Really, that whole trade of KG and Paul Pierce going to Brooklyn, that's like one of those ones you probably throw on the list as like the Nets. That changed a lot after that. It's like it was game changing in a bad way for that franchise. How in terms of how much they were probably giving up just to get those two players, just to get nowhere. Man, and hey, looking at KG's stats, Hall of Famer, man. Hall of Famer. Boy, I can name some teams that make me cringe when I see Shaq in. The Suns, Celtics, Cavs. Oh, Lord. Like, really the main ones that I care for, that he's on, that I will be okay with, is just the Magic and the Lakers. Pretty much in the Heat. It's pretty much the only ones that really come to my mind of being okay with, because I mean, early years of him hooping. Miami Heat post almost towards the end of his prime, but he still was getting some buckets, so I give it to him. Ooh, AI. Ooh, he has some. Man, hey, you can't forget about him in the Pistons jersey. That was a little cringe too. That was a little cringe too. I'll add that to the list with the Grizzlies for AI. I'm like, damn. And this one for the D-Rose, oof. That's a tough one for Cleveland. I don't know about that one. It did not do well. That was not it. Him, D-Rose, Isaiah Thomas, D-Wade, them three right there. Ugh, that was some cringe right there looking at them in those jerseys. And then maybe, I think the other part is of why it adds to it not being as good looking is for the fact of how they played. So you add that to the list, it's like you just adding more fuel to the fire.
On the Cleveland Cavaliers. The amount of teams that he's played for post Chicago distracts from the fact that with each one, he's had some relatively high points and has been an acceptable role player. Unfortunately, that does not apply to the Cavs stint, and there's just so much wrong with it. He looked completely off in those terrible jerseys. He was playing with LeBron, who would have been his sworn rival for years.
Them jerseys was not that bad.
By the time we were starting to realize he would never be close to the same player again. He was also a part of that god-awful experiment of
then again, I mean, I don't know.
Of course, to cap it all off, this era would
that shoe with the wing, I say, I don't know. Kind of iffy on that little logo emblem.
After just 16 games played, he would end up traded to the Utah Jazz, who we are especially grateful that he did.
Oh yeah.
Right over to the other guard position on that same team. Good lord.
Right on the money.
You know, I was okay with seeing him in a Bulls jersey. It was his hometown. It was still red and white, which
Yeah, that was something I had to.
and that team.
D Wade on the Bulls. That's something I had. I had to just get used to for a little bit. I was like, I don't know, but I know you from Chicago. I'm like, damn. I say, I don't know. Kind of grew on me, like as the season came along, but I still felt like over time, like as you look back at it, did we really need this? I don't know.
Actually showed potential when healthy down the stretch. Being on the Cavs in this particular era was just not okay. It felt like some weird bending of space-time. After he and LeBron accomplished all these great feats in Miami, here they were back where LeBron departed from, as Wade is nowhere near the same player. The season's going terribly, the jerseys still suck, this duo's memory is being tarnished. All that just for him to get sent back to Miami mid-season, where truthfully he should have never left. To this day, I just stubbornly consider him a Heat lifer. My childhood shooting guards I grew up with going outside.
Ooh.
I had options.
T-Mac.
I chose the Hawks for a specific reason.
Recently, shout out to Jeff Teague and that podcast. Man, they doing their thing. It just made me think of this clip about Jeff Teague and T-Mac talking to each other and them in their stint together on that Hawks team. Man, go ahead and check it out.
I was in my third year. I was starting point guard. He came to our team, and he was really pissed that I was starting.
Tell him how I pulled up to practice. What did he pull up in?
A Maybach? Yeah, he pulled up in a Maybach. I'm like, I'm a fan. I'm like, damn, that's T-Mac in a Maybach with some big-ass Gucci clothes on. I'm like, damn, what up? He was like, what's up? They start calling the starting line of the groups. Nigga look like, this nigga? I'm like, yeah. He like, man, this nigga trash. I'm like, heart drop, like, oh, he got me fucked up. So now it was fuck T-Mac the whole. I just started talking shit to him the rest of the year. Like, nigga, you ain't never been LeBron. Nigga, Kobe ain't respect you. Damn. He was like, nigga, who the fuck are you? I ain't had shit to say. I just kept talking shit about other niggas. Like, Kobe, man, he said you ain't work hard enough. Nigga, you average 8 motherfucking points. He'd go in over here every day. Then that nigga stole me in my chest one day. I wanted to fight that nigga so bad. That nigga Marvin Williams was like, man, he'll beat the shit out you, man. Relax.
Forgot all about him in New York. A lot of these teams, for real. Yeah, him in the Spurs jersey is crazy. But speaking of T-Mac and how his career was kind of cut short due to injuries, let me know, in their prime, who would you take? T-Mac or Brandon Roy? Put them in the comments. Make sure you like and comment, subscribe as well. You know.
At the very end of the Spurs bench in a desperate attempt at a read. I was okay with it though. He finally got to play with Tim Duncan. The team was great. I felt okay with him just riding that wave. Him whoring the last of his knees out for the Hawks, we just didn't want to see that. Speaking of a star taking his final steps on a bad team. Brandon Roy on the Wolves. The crazy thing is, I fully remember him playing more than 5 games there, but apparently that's all there was. This one is tragically sad. He'd actually retired before the 2012 season after several knee surgeries in his short career, but later said the decision was never meant to be final. He gave it one more go with the Wolves, signing a 2-year, $10 million contract, but had to stop for authors.
Man, this one's sad.
Almost immediately. Him playing there was literally his last breath in basketball, as he was released and never seen in the league again. It might have just been better to stay gone in 2020.
Man, Roy, he was on a rise when he was in Portland, man.
Doesn't it feel like Dwight Howard played more than 9 games in Washington? All these
Man, that's crazy. I forgot Dwight Howard was on the Washington Wizards. Carmelo.
He was essentially used as a scapegoat, released, and couldn't find a job for around a year. It called into question his skill set, career. All in all, it was just a very unceremonious way for a player of his caliber to begin his exit from the league. And yeah, that's all I really...
Man, I'm just from the ghetto. When I'm in the game and I'm balling like a Melo. Swish. Rest in peace, Lil Snoop, man. If you know, you know. But Melo, him in Houston was definitely crazy. I wouldn't... Like, I instantly just think about just Melo as a Knick, as a Nugget, and I actually thought he did pretty well post prime Melo. He did pretty well with Portland, man. He kind of turned himself around in Portland, because it wasn't that pretty in OKC and Houston. But I kind of felt like it was crazy with Houston, the way they was trying to use him and how they wasn't crazy on the mid-range game, just getting to the rim and only shooting threes. Mainly threes. That's what they was known for. And if you live by the three, you die by the three. You see what happened with Houston in the playoffs. So, I mean, hey, that's that.
Have for this list. I'm sure there's some players out there that I missed, but my goal wasn't to get all of them. It was
Ooh, kid,
the ones that I had something to say
on the
about.
Knicks.
So if there are some players that
V-
you have
ooh.
something to say about where they
VC?
in a terrible jersey,
Boy, Iguodala did get no PT.
put it in the comment section. Also, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications every time a new video drops.
Shout out Dom 2K, man. But yeah, let me know who do y'all feel like y'all cringe the most looking at a player on another team in a certain jersey. Let me know that player that makes you cringe the most. Put them in the comments. For me, out of all the players, my main one at the moment that just pops up in my head might just be D Wade, man. Seeing him in like Cleveland and stuff, I just feel like he's a Miami for lifer. Even though I wasn't too crazy on him in Chicago, but I was kind of okay with it because I'm being hometown. But at the end of the day, with so much he accomplished with Miami, I kind of would say him. So I'm gonna say Melo. Let me know how y'all feel about a certain player in the comments. Make sure you comment, share, like, subscribe, all that, man. Love to everybody. This Carter 94 feet. I'm Sheldon Carter, and I'm gonna see you next time.